So in this video, we are going to solve some few examples under chain rule. Okay, so I'm going to take questions that needs to be solved with what? Chain rule. Okay, so the first question I have on the board is the f of x equals the square root of what? 5x minus 8. So this is the question I have on the board. So you go ahead and then you solve it. So first of all, the first step I'm going to take in solving this question is I'm going to represent what I have here with a variable u. So I'll say that let u equals what? 5x minus 8. Okay, so now our expression will now become what? F of u, which will be equal to what? The square root of what? U, since u equals what? 5x minus 8. So if I want to find the first derivative of this, that what? F prime of what? U, right? And with this square root of u that I have here, I can write this as what? U to the power of half. Okay, so when I write this as u to the power half, you see that you have two expressions in here. So one, you have what? U to the power half, and secondly, you have what? Just u. So what you are going to do is that you are going to find the derivative of what? U to the power half, then you multiply by what? The derivative of what? U. Okay, you know, u to the power half, the derivative will be equal to what? 1 over 2 times u to the power what? Half minus 1, which is what? Minus half. And then the derivative of u will be what? U prime. Okay, so f prime of u will be equal to what? D over du of what? U to the power half times d over the x of what? U. That's changing u with respect to x. So you are going to find for this value. So you know when you found for d over the u to the power half, you got what? 1 over 2 u to the power minus half. This times what? U prime. Okay, so now what you don't know here is the what? Is the u prime. So how are you going to find it? We know that u equals what? 5x minus 8. So let's find u prime, which will be the first derivative of this. So when I differentiate 5x, this will give me 5. When I differentiate 8, which is a constant, I'll get 0. So at the end, now u prime will be equal to what? 5. So let's kind of put in our values here. So now at the end, I'll have what? 1 over 2 u to the power minus half times what? 5. Okay, so when you have this as your answer and then you still not gotten that option in the multiple choice, you have to go ahead and then simplify this. So look at this. When I have x to the power minus 1 and I want to take out this negative, I can write this as what? 1 over what? X. Okay, so similarly, if I have x to the power minus half and I want to take off the minus, I can write this as what? 1 over what? X to the power what? Half. Okay, which is the same as what? 1 over the square root of what? X. So the same rule that I'm going to apply here. So since I have u to the power minus half here, I write this as 1 over 2 times 1 over what? U to the power what? Half times what? 5. Okay, since I can write this as the square root of u, I'll now have 1 over what? 2 times what? 1 over the square root of what? U times 5. Okay, so this will now give me 5 over what? 2 times square root of what? U, because 5 will multiply 1 and then we still get 5 all over what? 2 times the root of u, which will be what? 2 root u. So now we know that the value of what? U equals what? 5x minus 8. So you just can put in the value of u. So then you have 5 over what? 2 root of what? 2 square root of what? 5x minus 8. So this will be our answer at the end. So this is the second question I have on the screen here. So you have to find the derivative of this expression also. And so the chain rule that we are applying here. So it will be easy if you represent this expression in the bracket here it was a single variable. So you can see that let u, okay, let's say let u equals the expression in the bracket x to the power minus 4 plus x to the power 4. So now you will have the function to be f of u. Okay, it is now expressed in u because natural log of what? U. So what you are going to do is that you are going to find the natural log of what? U. Okay, so when you find the natural log of u, then that will give us the derivative of what? This expression. So what is the derivative of the natural log of what? Of a number. So that's d over, let's say d over dx of natural log of what? X. This will be equal to what? X prime over what? X. Okay, so we are going to apply this here and then we use it to get what? The derivative of this function. Okay, so you see the derivative of a natural log of what? A function equals what? The first derivative of what? That function over what? The function itself. So what are you going to do here? This will be like this, u prime over what? U in our case here, because our x here is what? Is this u here. Okay, so in this case you have what? U prime over u. So you know that u equals what? X to the power minus 4 plus x to the power 4. Okay, but we don't know u prime. So what you have to do now is what? To find what? U prime. Okay, so what would that be? So you have u prime. Okay, so you're going to find u prime. So let me write it's this here. So that's equal to x to the power minus 4 plus x to the power 4. So you are going to find u prime, which is the first derivative of what? This expression here. Okay, so first of all, I can bring forward this minus 4 here and then reduce it by what? 1. So that be minus 4 x to the power what? Minus 5. Because minus 4 minus 1 will be equal to what? Minus 5. So that's why I have minus 5 here. Okay, so plus 4x to the power 3 because I reduced the 4 by 1. So at the end, this is what I have. So I have what? U prime to be equal to minus 4x to the power minus 5 plus 4x to the power 3. So I'm going to put this in place of what? This here. So at the end, our derivative becomes what? U prime, which is what? Minus 4x to the power minus 5 plus 4x to the power 3. So that will be minus 4x to the power minus 5 plus 4x to the power 3 all over u, okay, which we know is what? X to the power minus 4 plus x to the power 4. Okay, so this is what we have now as what? Our derivative. Okay, so let's go ahead and then simplify this expression that we have here. So I'm going to simplify the expression that we have here. Okay, so let's go ahead and then simplify this. That's minus 4x to the power minus 5 plus 4x to the power 3 all over x to the power minus 4 plus x to the power 4. So you're going to simplify this expression here. So let's look at how you're going to do this. So first of all, let's rewrite this expressions here. Okay, those with negative, let's rewrite them in a way that we can take out what? The negative. So I now have minus 4 times 1 over x to the power 5. Okay, because I have something like this, x to the power minus 5. So if I want to take out the negative, now I will have to write it in the fraction form this way. So now I can take out the negative. So that's how come I have this. Okay, so that's plus 4x to the power 3 all over this side. So I have what? X to the power minus 4. So I can write it as 1 over x to the power 4. So that I can take out the negative. So I'll have 1 over x to the power 4 plus x to the power 4 over here. Okay, so this is what I have now. Okay, so from here, what you do next is that let's focus on what you have on top. That's the numerator. Okay, so I have minus 4. So let's multiply this. So that was minus 4x times 1 over x to the power 5. So I have minus 4 over x to the power 5. Okay, so plus 4x to the power 3. So let's divide both side by what? Let's divide by what? X to the power 5, since that's the LCM. Okay, so now let's do this. So this and this will cancel out. So at the end I have what? Minus 4. Okay, so plus, there's no denominator here, so just multiply these two. So I get what? 4x. Okay, and they are multiplying, so the exponent will add up. So you get what? 4x to the power 8. Okay, so at the end this is what I have as my numerator. Okay, so this is what I have as my numerator. Okay, so let's do same for the denominator also. Let's do same for the denominator also. So for the denominator, I have 1 over x to the power 4 plus x to the power 4. So I can make x to the power 4 here, the LCM here. Okay, so 1 over x to the power 4 times this. I also have my 1 here, and then plus x to the power 4 times x to the power 4. So this will give me x to the power 8 because the exponent will add up. So I have this also as what? As my denominator. Okay, so this whole thing represents this. Okay, so what you are going to do is that since this is our denominator, and then since this is our numerator, okay, you are going to write it in what? In this form. Okay, so I'm going to write it as 1 plus x. Okay, let me write the numerator first. So I have what? Minus 4 plus 4x over x to the power 5 over x to the power 5 divided by what? 1 plus x to the power 8. 1 plus x to the power 8 divided by what? X to the power 4. Okay, so this is what I have now. It's the same as this expression. Okay, just that instead of me writing this sign, I use the division. Okay, so let's continue. So now I have this. Okay, so now let's reciprocate this. So I now have minus 4 plus 4x all over x to the power 5 times x to the power 4 over 1 plus x to the power 8. So with this I can take out all this, then cancel out this 5 here. So let's write down what you have left. So now you have minus 4 plus 4x all over x times 1 over 1 plus x to the power 8. Okay, so I can multiply this by this and also multiply this value here by this. So let's go ahead and then, so minus 4 plus 4x times 1 will still give me minus 4 plus 4x. Okay, and then x times this, x is multiplying this. Okay, so that will be all over x plus x times x to the power 8 will be what? X to the power 9, because the exponent will add. So at the end I'll get this value here, and then this will be our final and simplified what answer. Okay, so when you're given an expression of this kind and you've been asked what to find the derivative of this expression, how is it going to be? Okay, so looking at this from my previous video on rules of differentiation, I explained how to find the derivative of the natural log of a function. So if you haven't watched that video yet, I would advise that you go and watch it. Alright, so if you want to find the derivative of the natural log of a function, say d over dx natural log of what? X. Okay, so this will be the first derivative of x, which is what? X prime over what? X. Okay, so this is the general rule for this. Okay, so now what you are going to do is that you are going to represent g of x with what? X. So I'll say that let g of x be equal to what? X. Okay, so then if that's the case, then g prime of x will be equal to what? X prime. Okay, so this is what I have. So this is all what we need for our answer. So that'll be d over dx in of what? G of x will be equal to what? X prime, which is what? This is what g prime of x. So that was g prime of x over what? X, which is what? G of x. Okay, so this will be the expression for the first derivative of what you have here. Okay, so the next question we're looking at is what I have on the board. So you have to find what the first derivative of what? X to the power 3 plus 4 all to the power 5 over 1 minus 2x to the power 2 all into bracket squared. Okay, so we have to find what the derivative of this. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to represent what I have here with v, and then what I have here is what? U. I know you are finding the derivative of a quotient, it is a fraction, so let's say that will be d over d dx, okay, of u over what? V. This will be equal to v times what? U prime minus u times what? V prime all over v squared. Okay, so this is what you are going to apply here. So you know that u equals what? X to the power 3 plus 4 all to the power what? All to the power 5. I know that my v equals 1 minus 2x squared all to the power 3. Okay, so now you have our formula here, okay? So you know v and then you know u. So what's left is what? Is what? U prime and then v prime. So let's find u prime and v prime. Okay, so u prime will be equal to the derivative of u here. So that what? 5 times x to the power 3 plus 4 all to the power what? 4. Okay, and the derivative of what I have inside, that was 3x squared. So then I multiply the 5 by the 3x squared, so that gives me 15x squared into brackets x to the power 3 plus 4 all to the power 4. Okay, so this is what I have for u prime. So let me write my u prime here. So that will be 15x squared into brackets x to the power 3 plus 4, okay, all to the power 4. Okay, so that's my u prime. Okay, so now let me find v prime also. So I'm going to find for v prime. Okay, so v prime will be equal to 3 into bracket 1 minus 2x to the power 2. Okay, times the derivative of what I have inside, that what times what. Okay, so this is actually 2x squared. Okay, so 2x squared times the derivative of what? 1 minus 2x squared, so that what? Minus 4x. Okay, so at the end I have what? Minus 12x into bracket 1 minus 2x squared, all squared. Okay, so now we know v prime also, which is what? Minus 12x into bracket 1 minus 2x squared all to the power 2. Okay, so I know for what v prime also, so we are just going to substitute them into this formula, then we see what to do next. Okay, so now first of all I have v times what? U prime, so that will be 1 minus 2x squared, okay, all to the power 3. Okay, all to the power 3 times what? U prime, okay, which will be times 15x squared into bracket x to the power 3 plus 4 all to the power 4. Okay, minus, okay, so that's, okay, so minus u. Okay, so that's u is what? X to the power 3 plus 4 to the power 5. Okay, so minus u times what? V prime. Okay, so that what? Times minus 12x into bracket 1 minus 2x squared, all squared. Okay, so this is what I have. So I'm going to rewrite this here. So this is the numerator, okay, but because there wasn't enough space, that's why I wrote it this way. So let me write it in a way that will look familiar. Okay, so I'm writing the whole expression again. So I have what? 1 minus 2x to the power 2 all to the power 3 times what? 15 15x squared, 15x squared into bracket x to the power 3 plus 4 all to the power 4. Okay, minus, I have minus x to the power 3 plus 4 all to the power 5 times minus 12x into bracket 1 minus 2x squared, all squared. So all this divided by what? All this divided by the square for the numerator, which is what? V squared. So all this divided by 1 minus 2x squared to the power 3, all squared. Okay, all squared. So you see that I have 1 minus 2x to the power 2 to the power 3 to the power 2. Okay, so now when I have something like this, I can multiply the powers. Okay, so that was 3 times 2, so then that gives me 6. So instead of me writing that, I just write it to the power 6. Okay, so now this is what you have. So now let's go ahead and then simplify it. So this is actually our answer. Okay, this is actually our answer, but we can simplify this expression that we have here. So let's look at how you're going to do that. So first of all, look at this 1 minus 2x squared. Okay, and you see it is common to both sides. So we have it here and then we have it here also. So you see that it is what? Common to both sides. So what we are going to do is that we are going to factor it out. Okay, and this side is to the power 2. and then this side is what, to the power 3. So I'm going to factor out to the power 2 here. Okay, so look at how I'm going to do this. So I'll now have 1 minus 2x squared. Okay, 1 minus 2x squared to the power 2. Okay, multiplying this. So this is to the power 3. So when I bring squared out, we'll left with what? 1. So I'll now have 1 minus 2x squared. Okay, alright. So when I multiply this by this, I'll get this. Alright, times. Okay, so let me make it times what? 15x to the power 2 multiplying x to the power 3 plus 4 to the power 4. Okay, so this is for this side. Okay, so now let's write down. Let's write for this side also. So already I have this squared out. So I will now have, okay, minus. Let's first consider this minus sign, then this minus sign. So since they are multiplying, they become what? Positive. So that's what? Plus 12x. Okay, plus 12x. Okay, into bracket x to the power 3 plus 4 all to the power 5. Okay, times. Okay, so that's all. So instead of me writing this whole expression, I sent this one out already. So then I have what? This 2 here. Okay, so then that's what I've simplified to get this. So then I have this all divided by okay 1 minus 2x squared to the power of 6. So you see that this expression here, okay, I have the same here. Okay, I have the same values there. So this can actually cancel out this. So these two will cancel out this 6, and now you have to the power 4 here. Okay, so now, and then this is what you have here. So now can you write this as, I'll clean this place, and then okay, write this as, okay, so that'll be what? Okay, so that'll be 1 minus 2x squared to the power 4. Okay, so this is what I have now. Okay, so what else can we do again? Can we further simplify this? Okay, so what I'm going to do here next is that I have 15x squared here. Okay, I have 15x squared here. You see that you can multiply this by this directly. Okay, although they are all multiplying each other, but this is to the power 4. So before I can multiply this 15 by this bracket, I have to expand. But I see that this is just 1 minus 2x squared, so I can multiply this 15 here by this. Okay, so I'm going to multiply this 15 here by this. So first of all, that was 15 times 1, so that will still be 15, and then 15 times minus 2x squared. Okay, that will give me what? 30x to the power what? 4. So I have 15x to the power 2. Okay, minus 30x to the power what? 4. X to the power 4. Okay, so this like this, and then you write the what is remaining. That's what? X to the power 3 plus 4 all to the power what? 4. Okay, alright, so plus 12x. As for this one, we can leave it this way: 12x into bracket x to the power 3 plus 4 bracket close to the power 5. Then all divided by what? 1 minus 2x squared to the power 4. So we can have this as our answer. Okay, so we have something like this. Okay, so how are you going to go about this? So you have to find the first derivative of what? This function here. Okay, so you see that first of all you have g of x to the power what n. So for this to be easy for us, let's represent g of x with what? Say u. Okay, so I say let g of x equals what? U. So now the function now becomes what? F of u equals what? U to the power what? N. Okay, and if I want to find the first derivative of what? U to the power n, that will be what? F prime of u will be equal to what? N times u to the power what? N minus what? 1. Okay, times what? U prime. Okay, so this is what I have. So I first of all find the derivative of the whole expression, and then I come and find the derivative of what I have inside. Okay, so now you know that u prime, okay, you know that since g of x, okay, equals, since g of x equals u, okay, then u prime, okay, if g of x equals u, then the first derivative of u, which is what? U prime, will be equal to what? G prime of what? X. Okay, so with this knowledge, let's kind of put in the value of what? U here. Okay, so that will be what? N times what? G of x. Okay, so let me put this into square brackets. So that will be what? N times g of x to the power what? N minus what? 1 times u prime, which is the same as what? G prime of what? X. Okay, so this should be your expression for the derivative of what? That kind of functions. Okay, so the last question I have on the board is this question. Okay, so it says f of x equals 2x to the power 3 plus cosine of x all to the power of 50. So you have to find the derivative of this expression here. So I'm going to represent what you have in the bracket here with u. So I'll see that let u equals what? 2x to the power 3 plus cosine of what? X. Okay, so then my expression becomes f of what? U, which should be equal to what? U to the power what? 50. So if I want to find the first derivative of u, that would be what? F prime of what? U. So that would be what? That'll be that'll be 50 times u to the power what? 49 times what? U prime. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to find the derivative of the whole expression and then find the derivative of what? The u. Then I'll multiply the two. Okay, so now you know that u equals what? 2x to the power 3 plus cosine of what? X, but we don't know what u prime. Okay, so our main focus will be on what? U prime. Okay, so what will be u prime? If we have u to be this and you want to find the first derivative of this, so first I can treat these two as a what? Constant. So that was 2 times the derivative of what? X to the power 3. So that was 3x squared. Okay, plus the derivative of this, so that was the derivative of what? Cosine of x. Okay, that was minus sine of what? X. So then I'll have something like 6. I'll have 6x squared minus sine of what? X. Okay, so now you know what? We know our u prime. So let's go ahead and then put in our values for this. So that was 50 into bracket u, which is what? Which is 2x to the power 3 plus cosine of what? X. Okay, times cosine of x. Okay, multiplying 6x squared minus sine of what? X. Okay, so this is what I have here. Okay, so this is actually to the power 49. Okay, so the same expression that I wrote here. Okay, so now that you have this, we can further simplify this. Okay, this is to the power 49. So before I can multiply this 50 by this, I'll have to expand this bracket. But I see this is to the power 1. So I can multiply this 50 by this bracket. So I now have 50 times 6. So 50 times 6, that gives me 300. So I can have 300 x to the power 2, okay, minus 50 sine of x, okay. All this multiplying 2x to the power 3 plus cosine of what? X, okay, plus cosine of x, okay. All this to the power what? 49. So this will be our final answer.